Hello, and welcome to the Millennial Nutritionist Podcast. I'm Isla Garcia, master's degree of nutrition science and registered dietitian, and I'm going to make weight loss realistic, sustainable, and uncomplicated for your busy lifestyle. On this podcast, me and my team of registered dietitians will decipher the latest nutrition research, dissect fad diets, and discuss social media trends for you so you can feel confident knowing what to eat to achieve your health goals. Research suggests that most weight loss programs aren't successful, but my experience has taught me that this is not because the participants aren't committed. It's because those diets are designed by non-nutrition professionals and center around severe restrictions. We are here to provide the facts about the science of weight loss so you can have the success you want and continue living your best life. Hey, to go along with our social living month, we're discussing ways to navigate social drinking with alcohol in today's podcast episode. I've been wanting to cover this topic for a while, but couldn't really find the right person to talk to about it. But then I got a random email from a networking club that I'm a part of, and it's about our current guest, so I want to make sure to reach out right away. Today I'm interviewing Gabriela Richardson, founder of On the Mocktails AF, about all things mocktails. She's personally living a sober life and wanted to create a mocktail company to provide more options for non-alcoholic drinks at social events and just to support anyone who's in need of an alcohol-free solution. They're a unique company in that they actually bring the alcohol-free drinks to events and can even serve as a bartender to cater your event if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area here in Texas. I feel like it would be such a cool thing to show up to an event where a mocktail station is set up, so it still feels like you're getting that fun drink. Through On the Mocktails AF, Gabriela and her daughter also offer mixology classes if you're not in the area. If you feel like you are in need of some mocktail recipes, and also have some of their favorite alcohol alternatives listed on their website. From a weight loss perspective, switching to some mocktails can reduce about 100 calories from your drinks if you think that each drink might have like 2 ounces of liquor. It can also help you to make sure you don't get too buzzed and then overeat later on at night, which is really the thing that I see with clients who tend to drink. It's more the lower inhibitions that lead to lots of eating later on at night. But from an overall health perspective, decreasing your alcohol intake can be the best detoxer, which I never promote anything for detoxing besides stopping drinking alcohol for you, but it can be difficult to reduce your alcohol intake if you're going to a lot of work dinners, feel pressured from friends, and use it to relax at night. So I picked Gabriela's brain for some solutions for all of these and get her opinion on various celebrities that are living a sober life, including Drew Barrymore, Brad Pitt, and Blake Lively. A random update from the Millennial Nutritionist Company is that we posted a cooking demo on Millennial Living. Sarah is showing us how to make a pasta salad that would be a great option to bring to your summer cookouts, book clubs, pool parties, whatever gatherings this summer, so that you can still get in some fun carbs and vegetables, and it's a cool food to bring. Make sure to sign up for Millennial Living on our website and check out Sarah's video. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Gabriela. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Super excited to be here and to get to talk to you, and just excited to talk about the conversation we're going to have today.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. It definitely was meant to be that you popped up on this like tiny little group that we're both a part of. But I wanted to ask you the question that I ask everybody first. Are there any new like foods or drinks or wellness things that you've been doing lately that can inspire others?
Absolutely. So I'm going to Orange Theory,
Okay.
which I love. I never thought that I would like it because I'm a gym rat, but I do go to Orange Theory and I love it because you get to do a whole bunch of different things. And it's kind of like having a trainer,
Mhm.
and you get to do it with a big group of people, and not a big group, it's a small group, but you get to hit all your body parts, and it's a really nice place. I love the music. As far as food, I try to do intermittent fasting,
Okay.
because I've read so many things that it really helps you. I guess we really shouldn't be eating as much as we do. Maybe, I don't know. But I do intermittent fasting, and I'm trying to do more protein and less carbs. Those are the goals that I have. And just to hit the gym as many times as I can a week, at least 5 times a week. It doesn't always work that way, but I try.
Yeah, dang, that's a lot, especially for Orange Theory. But that's awesome. At least the goal's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, cool. Yeah, a lot of our clients love Orange Theory. I even have one client who became like a superstar and then became a coach. And now she loves it. So
Oh,
I
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been, but I
Yeah.
can see the appeal of it. Seems like it's super like group mentality, which seems like it's enjoyable to go. Is that right?
Yeah. Everybody's working towards the same goal. Like everybody's there for health. And the biggest thing is heart health, which,
Mm,
as we know, that's one of the third cause of death is heart. So
yeah.
definitely keeping your heart healthy is very important. And it is for me because my mom had a lot of heart issues. So,
Mm,
yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, me too. I have high cholesterol, so I will down a hill saying that weight, like no
Ah,
matter your
me
weight
too.
status.
Me
Oh, really?
too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear
no
you.
matter your weight status, it doesn't matter. You need to make sure to look at your heart stuff.
That's so true. It doesn't matter what you weigh. There's
Yeah.
people that you think are perfectly healthy and they have, high cholesterol or high blood pressure or whatever it may be. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I actually
yeah.
just got my blood cholesterol checked and it was like right on the line. I was like, okay, I guess I need to cut back on the cheese for the next year. I was like, dang,
Absolutely. Well, at least you know what you're doing. I
that's true.
actually, a few years ago, when I moved to Texas, I lived in South Florida and I moved to Texas and I went to the doctor and the doctor, to me, I kind of was a little ticked off at her because she didn't say what I would have said as a doctor, like, hey, get
Mm,
your stuff together because if not, you're going to have to take medicine. And it ended up that I had to end up
mm,
taking medicine, which it stinks because once you start taking medicine, from what I've been told, you have to continue to take it forever.
mm.
I mean, of course, different people think different things, but that's what I've been told so far. So yeah, you have to, it's your body's a machine. And if you don't take care of it, it will break down. So
Yes, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
Well, our article today, I'm excited. It's not anything like a new article, but I have seen this video a lot on like Reels or TikTok where people talk about celebrities who don't drink, and I am always surprised by the amount of celebrities that are so successful that don't drink. Because I guess I just assume they're out at night, they're at all these like glamorous like red carpet parties, and to think that they don't drink, I'm like, dang, how do they do it? Because I feel like that must be so hard to be around it. The article is from Eat This, Not That, and some of the celebrities on here are Brad Pitt, which I think makes sense because I think he has like a bad history with it. But like Blake Lively doesn't drink. Kim Kardashian doesn't really drink. Bella Hadid and Sam Smith, and there's a couple others, J Lo including. Did you have any initial thoughts about the whole article?
It's crazy that how many people are becoming conscious of being sober and how much alcohol causes havoc in people's life. I love the fact that the mega influencers are actually coming out and saying, hey, I have an issue. We know they have an issue, and I'm not hiding it, and I need help, and I'm doing something about it. I love Drew's story. It's a
Mhm.
lot like my story. Like she talks about, like, I was an alcoholic. I
Mhm.
struggled with alcohol. And once you get on the other side of it, then you're like, yes, I did it. I'm not weak. I'm strong. And
Mhm.
what comes out at the end of that rainbow is so much more than you could ever think about. And it's also crazy, Ella, to see how many people actually just people in general. There's so many people that struggle with alcohol. You never really know how many people struggle with alcohol until it's in your face. And I think more and more people are coming out and saying, hey, me, me. And so having that the mega influencers, like, everybody else, and you named Brad Pitt being one of them, talk about it, it's really helpful because a lot of people are like, they're talking about it, they're getting help. And if they could do it, anybody else could do it. And as far, like, for me, I've always been in an executive role I've been to many, many meetings that revolved around liquor,
Mhm.
alcohol, even if it's morning, mimosas, breakfast, lunch,
Right.
there's always drinks. And when you're not drinking, people kind of look at you sideways. And I think that's what one of the biggest challenges is right now when it comes to alcohol. So I'm glad that that are coming out. I think it's going to really help a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. One of the people that surprised me is Blake Lively. Like, I don't know if she has a past history of alcoholism or anything, but in her little blurb section, it said that she really likes being a part of social life, but doesn't like the pressure to drink. And I always forget that she's actually the co-founder of that brand. What is it, like Betty something? Have you heard of it before? Because I think I've tried it before. It's like Betty, let me Google it. Betty Buzz.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
like these little glass bottles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know
Yeah,
exactly what that is. Yes. They sell them at the gas station. Yeah.
exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
like so
Yeah. Yeah.
surprised that she's
That's why I didn't really know about them because I,
yeah.
I haven't been since I've quit drinking. I haven't really been inside of a gas station.
Oh.
I, it's funny, but I haven't seen them. But Yeah, it is
Yeah.
cool doing that. Absolutely.
Um, what do you think about like her stance on it's like hard to be part of the social life? Like you want to be part of that social life, but you don't want to drink. And so like kind of like her creating this like non-alcoholic drink, I guess, much like your company is. Like, what is your thought on that?
I just think people really need to accept the fact of wherever you are in this mission, whether you're not drinking or taking a break or you're curious to what's going on, just, back off and let people, find out what it is that they're doing, whatever their mission is, be acceptive of that and continue just to treat the person like if they were drinking. It's okay not to drink, just because you're drinking. And I think the biggest misconception is that just because I'm not drinking, the person that is drinking, they have a problem with it.
Mhm.
But if I don't have a problem with it, then, it would just be nice to be accepted and be like, okay, we could still hang out. We could still have fun. I'm not a different person. I'm the same exact person. I'm actually a better person than before, right? I'll remember everything we talked about.
Yeah.
And, that's what the biggest problem with what she was saying is that she just still wants to be social. I mean, she's young, she's around plenty of people, and just accept the fact that she's not drinking and don't push it. It should never
Mhm.
be like you have to do this or make people feel like you have to drink because that's not cool at all.
Hey, with a new month comes a new product I'd like to share with you. And for June, I want to talk to you about Fire Belly tea. A lot of people have been interested in non alcoholic alternatives, and their iced tea is a great 0 calorie option to keep stocked for when you're tired of just plain water. If you know me, I'm all about eating and drinking whole, natural foods to the best of your ability, and tea is just that. I feel like people forget about this OG water alternative when there's so many other things out there right now. So I'm going to remind you of some of the benefits and why I like this tea so much. So Fire Belly teas are a loose leaf, which makes it taste better because you get more surface area from the actual tea leaf. And they're also infused with herbs, spices, and fruits, which give them very unique flavors. They're also just super vibey. What sucked me in is their packaging. So I'll show you here some of the packaging. It just seems, I don't know, super cool and trendy. And their flavors are great. And then the bespoke iced tea carafe. Super cool and really cute to put in your fridge and you pour it out like that. Sometimes we choose the higher calorie drink option because the marketing sucks us in and it makes us think it's the cooler option. But we can make low calorie drink options cool too so that we don't have to feel like we're depriving ourselves of a fun drink experience. They also just have so much to choose from. They have green tea, black tea, herbal tea, mate tea. I don't know what that is. I hope I said it right. Matcha, oolong, and my favorite right now, iced teas. Or like teas that would be really well iced. You can take their online quiz for a customized recommendation, cater to your desired time to drink the tea, your benefit you want, and the flavor you want. When I took the quiz, I was recommended the after dinner mint, which is chocolate, mint, and valerian root, and the crowd pleaser, which is black tea with vanilla and almond. I think because I said that I really like coffee flavors, but those sound really, really good to me. But my personal favorite is the Caribbean Dream, which I have here, and I really like making it iced. It has pieces of coconut, pineapple, and apple crisp, so it feels like I'm drinking a pina colada without all of the calories or the hangover. They also have a lot of recipes on their blog that I want to try with some of the iced tea blends so that I can make it more of a mocktail in the summer. So they have recipe that's Thai iced tea with peaches. I feel like Thai iced tea is like super popular right now. And the Caribbean coconut lime tea, which I think you can make with the Caribbean Dream. So that sounds super fun. And I want to make a whole batch to bring to my next book club to help my friends also learn about some healthier drink options. They reached out to me to try their product, and as soon as I opened their box, I knew this would be our next podcast sponsor because they're not making any crazy health claims about like it being a skinny tea or metabolism boosting or anything like that. They're just making a 0 calorie drink option and overall experience. Swapping out that higher calorie alcohol drink on these hot June days to Fire Belly iced tea could help you to achieve the calorie deficit you need to reach your health goals. Try Fire Belly tea today by going to www.firebellytea.com/ILA15 and use the discount code ILA15, it's ILLA 15 at checkout to receive 15% off. So kind of give us an intro. I definitely want to highlight your business. And then I also want to highlight like overall, just kind of your experience of being alcohol free. But can you tell me a little bit about the journey of starting your business? Like, why did you start this type of business? Kind of give it to us.
So I started this business. I've been alcohol free for over 2.5 years. I stopped
Uh-huh.
drinking myself. When I stopped drinking, I started creating like things that I thought that would resemble a cocktail. So I had a lot of club soda, lime, orange, muddled, strawberry, a little bit of everything. And then a few months ago, I went on a cruise, actually more than a few months, almost a year ago, I went on a cruise and I asked the bartender for a mocktail. And he looked at me like if I had 10 heads. So
What?
he's like, what is that? So I said, oh, okay, never mind. I said, how about, and I told him how to make it, club soda. I want, if you could put pineapple juice, muddle some oranges, put some fruit in there. So it was the most, like a cocktail that they could make. So when I got back home, I talked to my daughter, Karina, and I expressed to her that I felt that this was a huge opportunity to be able to expand on it and offer it to people that are going through whatever they're going through at the time, right? And we started thinking about it, I started doing the research, and I didn't realize how many companies have actually, come up with spirit-free alcohol because I didn't drink anything, nor did I want to for a long time.
Mm.
So once I started looking at that, I'm like, oh my God, it was just like a calling. I feel like I love what we're doing. And not just because we're able to do events and we're able to serve options, but also because my goal is to educate and have a community of people to the same way that you go to bars and you hang out and you do everything there. It's the same thing. Just have a community of people that they could feel like whether they want to hang out or they want to do whatever it is that they want to do. If they want to just talk to somebody, just have that community. Because I also thought in my search that AA and going to rehab is not for everybody. I didn't have to go to rehab. I know a lot of people that don't have to. I know a lot of people that don't want to go to AA, but how cool would it be to
Mhm.
have a resource, an option to be like, well, I could talk to this person, or I can reach out to that person, or we could go hang out at a safe place, a safe haven. And also the drinks that we pour are delicious. I mean, they're really good and they resemble a real drink. So they're
Mhm.
awesome. You're not missing anything. And what I love about it is you never have any regrets and you never get sick, no hangovers. So that's
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I feel like that too sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I wish there was a place you could go that you could drink something, but it doesn't have to be alcohol. I'm like, I wish like tea rooms were a thing in the US or something like that. Cause it seems like you either have like the gym or it's like the bar. And like that's the communal places. And it's like there needs to be like an in between. And so I love that you're starting this.
yeah, that's what we would love to have that. And and Dallas Fort Worth is where we live, so we would love to start it off here. There's not any right now.
Yeah.
And just to have a place for people to come hang out and listen to music, have some drinks, same as going to a coffee bar or a
Yes.
bar. So yeah.
Starting kind of from the top, can you tell us what do you think some of the benefits are from being alcohol free?
3 years ago, I got into a car accident and I got hit from behind. I went to the ER. They did an X-ray on my neck. It wasn't the ER. It was a clinic. So they did an X-ray on my neck, and the lady that did the X-ray, she goes, you have to be seen by your doctor like ASAP." So I ended up going to a heart doctor,
Mhm.
and from my doctor, they referred me to a heart doctor because they thought I had plaque on my arteries. So when he saw me, he's like, you need to quit smoking. You need to quit drinking. And we are going to refer you to a cardiologist, a surgeon. So I was like, oh my God, I'm dying here. So I left there. I was with my girls and I left there and they're like, oh my God, mom, what are you going to do? So I'm like, I'm not going to drink and I'm not going to smoke. And to make a long story shorter, so they did all these tests. I quit smoking, I quit drinking right away. They did all these tests. They came back that I did not have what they thought. I didn't
Mm.
have as much plaque in my arteries as they thought, nothing as to what they thought. So immediately, what do? I go back to drinking and smoking. Shortly after that, I did actually quit drinking and smoking. And when I went to the doctor a month ago, to the cardiologist who I had met with and had ran all my tests, and I still had to get elevated medicine and everything, but it wasn't as bad. He looked at me, he goes, Gabby, whatever you're doing, you have to continue to do it. He goes, you
Wow.
reverse everything that you did bad He said, you have no artery, no plaque. He goes, your blood flow in your veins are going much better than even before, a long time ago. And you're just healthy. And I don't know what you're doing, but you look great. Your blood work, your blood pressure is of a teenager. So just the overall feeling of being healthy is amazing. Also clarity with your brain, no
Mhm.
brain, no foggy brain or any of that. Which I'm lucky because when you drink a lot, that can be an issue sometimes.
Mhm.
So as far as health, just feeling good, looking good. I've had people ask me, like, what did you do to yourself? You look so much younger. And I thought to myself, damn, I must have looked really bad. I didn't realize it, but I have this it's an ongoing thing. And I think it's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel better, and I guess that's why I look better. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I get that a lot with clients. I mean, we never like outwardly say we don't want them to drink. We just hope that they'll kind of notice over time that we give them a certain calorie range. They notice that drinking takes up a lot of calories. Maybe they won't do it. And slowly over time, they'll be like, wow, I have so much energy when I wake up in the morning on Saturday and I can go work out and it just helps everything. We're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
For some people who are trying to make this transition, it's hard to think about like how to still have fun when the drinking is taken away. Do you feel like you can still have fun when the drinking part is taken away? Like, what does that look like?
I think you definitely can have fun. It just really depends on where you are with the drinking. Like if you've just stopped drinking, my recommendation is that you separate yourself. You have to kind of separate yourself from anything that you were doing before because they're
Mm,
habits.
mhm.
So for me, my backyard was my haven where I used to go drink and smoke
Oh,
cigarettes. So I didn't go there for a year. So my first year of drinking, I did not go to my backyard. I didn't care what it looked like. I was not going back there, and it worked. I mean, honestly, I just broke everything that was a habit of mine. And as far as having fun, just do different things that you're not normally doing.
mm,
When you're thinking about what can I do that it's something, that it's fun. There's so many things that are fun. You know what I mean? There's so many things that are fun. I mean, it just depends on what fun you're looking for. But I mean, traveling is fun. Reading a book is fun.
mhm.
Meditating is fun. Going to the gym is fun. Doing a class that you thought, oh my God, I would never be able to do this class for 2 hours and being able to do it. So just try and do different things. And I would say most of all, the most important thing is to really give yourself grace
Yeah.
and to know that, you know, you're going through it, but you'll come out on top at the end. And then you'll really realize, wow, this is really fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Getting into when you actually started trying to figure out how to make mocktails, were there any surprises when you started making them? I've tried to dabble every now and then, and I just gave up because I couldn't figure it out. So I'm really interested to hear your response.
Yeah. So at first, again, when I just started making them, I didn't realize that there was actually companies that were making alcohol free. I
Mhm.
think the biggest challenge that we have when it comes to making the closest thing is like an espresso martini.
Really? I thought that'd
That
be
is,
easiest.
it's such a challenge because what people like, people that drink,
Uh-huh.
I still cater to a lot of people that drink. They're just taking a break, or
Okay.
they want an option, right?
Yeah.
So people that drink, they want that burning taste in the back of their throat,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's one thing that companies are now realizing that. So they're inventing that. So just trying to figure out, all right, what am I going to put in this espresso martini to make it taste and feel like a real martini. Other than that, I mean, the ones that I use, they really have done a great job. I mean, when you're having, like I use one company, it's called Joyous, and they have a delicious wines, and they actually have 92 points. And if you know anything about alcoholic points for wines, 92 points is really good and it's really high. It's like elevated wine, and it's just delicious, and you would never be able to tell that it's not
Really?
alcohol free. And then I use Free AF, which they have a delicious, different ones as well, like vodka spritzers and palomas and stuff like that. But I think it's just trying to figure out, how to make it look good, taste good, and be pretty. and really resemble what a real mocktail would look like. And with a lot of practice and mistakes and trying everything, we've been able to figure it out. And again, the companies that I use, the stuff that I use has just been handpicked, and I try everything. And I wouldn't say that everything's good, but I really have tried everything. So everything that I carry is actually really good.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, is there one that's your favorite that you've made or a couple?
As far as drinks,
Mhm.
I would say the strawberry mojito is delicious.
Okay.
Any mojito that you make is going to be good. There's so many drinks that we make that are really good, but the strawberry mojito is one of my favorites. As far as wines, the one that I told you before, that's just a delicious sparkling rosé, and it definitely you could not tell that it's a fake drink. So it's really nice. I also have another one that's a lavender balm, which is really nice too. It's just relaxing. It has a calming effect. And if you like lavender and mint in there, it's really good too. Hopefully you
Okay.
get to try one someday.
Yes. So for people trying to do this at home, are there any things that they should stock up on? I think you kind of hit on that one wine. Is there anything else that are like a basic thing that they should be looking for to start like their home mocktail kit?
I would say definitely there's an assortment of club sodas.
Mm,
World Market has some really good ones and they're not expensive. They have all different types, all different flavors. So that's a good place to start. And then, of course, if you want to do martinis or anything that has alcohol in it, well, not alcohol,
the
alcohol,
flavor. Yeah.
then you can start buying different stuff that is good as well. Spiritless is really good.
Mm,
That is a tequila, and I mean, if you smell it and taste it, you can never tell the difference.
really?
You make a lot of drinks with that.
Okay.
And you could buy that. I mean, on my website, you could buy it online. Some stores are starting to bring these types of drinks in little by little. I think eventually they will be everywhere, just like regular, consumption of anything else. But little by little, they are trickling in, and it's nice because you have options.
Yeah. I've even seen some at Specs. I know that's a Texas place, but I was
It
surprised.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about non-alcoholic drinks? So for somebody like me, I actually don't even like the taste of alcohol. And so like I even love just trying to ask for like why is nobody making like just like a fun drink that's not alcoholic? Like do y'all ever dabble in that or what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, a non-alcoholic, like right now, I'm drinking club soda.
Yeah.
I have this big ice cube that I infuse oranges in it.
Okay.
And then it just takes forever to melt and it tastes delicious. It's super fun. People would never know what I'm drinking or not drinking. And it just goes back to, like you don't like alcohol. What do you like? Do you
Mhm.
like strawberry daiquiris? Do you like shakes? Do you like stuff that's more creamy? What
Mm.
type of things do you like?
I don't yeah, I guess like anything because I think the fun thing about alcohol is it's just like sometimes you just don't wanna go to a restaurant and just order water. So it's like it seems like the only other option is alcohol, but then it's like, where's that they're not a milligram of something that just like tastes good. I mean, soda's okay, but it doesn't feel as fun as like a drink.
Yeah.
So I've been getting into more like asking for just like mocktail Moscow mules because those typically taste really good and aren't like alcohol-y. But yeah, like anything. I didn't know
Yeah.
if you had
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
off like your go-to kind of
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, when I go to a restaurant that they don't have, anything, I'll just ask for a club soda,
Mm.
and I'll tell them to put a splash of pineapple juice. If they have whatever tropical fruit they have going on, I'll tell them to muddle something in there, depending on where you are. I'm from South Florida, so we have lots of tropical fruit
Yeah.
here. I mean, I'll just tell them strawberry, oranges, and they'll do it. They'll be more than happy to. So it's just about, kind of thinking about what you like and just having them make it. It doesn't have to be soda because soda's not, it's good, but it's not always the healthiest option.
Right.
But it goes back to sparkling water. Sparkling anything is going to be
Okay.
good with pineapple juice, strawberry juice, mango juice. And it's just like just a little spritzer in there and some fruits and call it a day.
Okay, yeah, and that looks fun. It's like part of
Yeah.
the fun part about getting a drink too is it just, like, looks fun, I think, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it
yeah.
make it look
They
nice.
are having alcohol-free beers if you like. I know my son drinks Heineken Zero.
Uh-huh.
He says it tastes like exactly the same. I haven't tried one yet, so I'll have to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have some situations that maybe you can give some like maybe like go-to orders or just like any tips that I see a lot. And we had a lot of these came from our audience questions. So make sure to follow us over on the Millennial Nutritionist so that you can be a part of these questions when I ask before every episode. But first one coming up, the all-inclusive resort, which can be hard because you're like already paying for an unlimited drink selection. Do you have kind of like a go-to drink to order or a tip for like when you're at an all-inclusive resort, you're trying not to drink, what could you order?
I would say if you're at an all-exclusive resort, you could buy something ahead of time and take it with
Okay.
you. People do this all the time. As a matter of fact, I just did a party yesterday, and the lady's going to a cruise, and she has her own little cooler that she's going to be taking with her. And because it's alcohol free, there's no big problem. And if you're not allowed to bring alcohol, but you're allowed to bring alcohol free. But just it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, when you're going on a cruise, it's going to be your options. Certain locations are becoming more aware, and they are bringing stuff right into their locations.
Mhm.
But like Norwegian Cruise Line, they now just opened up their alcohol-free options. So,
Oh.
like I said, the more that this continues to expand, the more that it's going to be available. But if you really want to have, like, if you really want to bring something, I would say bring your own stuff,
Mhm.
buy it, pack it, and take it with you,
Mhm.
or even buy it whatever city you're leaving out of. And in worst case scenario, then you're going to have to go back to the club soda with some sort of juice, whether it's club soda, lime,
Mhm.
pineapple juice. There's just those are the options that we have right now. They're
Gotcha,
getting
gotcha.
better, I promise you.
Yeah, yeah. No, one time I did get sick of getting a lot of alcohol drinks at a all-inclusive, and so I just started asking for virgin, Bloody Marys, and that kinda worked because it kinda tastes similar. I don't like the vodka part
Yeah,
anyway, so, I mean, that was, like, a good thing, and nobody really asked, so that's my 2
yeah,
cents.
exactly. And they are good. I like them
Yeah,
too. Yeah, absolutely.
um, what about happy hours with coworkers or, like, corporate dinners?
I think if you let people know where you are,
Mhm,
that you're not drinking, that was one of the things that I did when I stopped drinking. I told my family, I'm not drinking. So let's, be respectful of just help me out. Really, not be respectful, help me out. You know, um, just being honest about where you are, that you're not
mhm.
having to, if you're having to hang out with people and they're, kind of like looking at you sideways because you're drinking, then you might want to look at that as well. But
Yeah.
happy hours, if you want to do a happy hour, again, more and more companies are bringing stuff, bringing options to restaurants, hotels, cruise lines, but back to the same thing, having a virgin drink. I mean, they do make virgin drinks as well.
Mhm,
Strawberry daiquiri. I mean,
mm.
there's so many different drinks that they can make that are non-alcoholic, and just asking if they have what non-alcoholic drinks do you have, and you'll be surprised because they do have more and more. So that's exciting.
Yeah, yeah, I think we
Yeah,
always so forget too that I mean, I don't know, I've never been pregnant, obviously you have, so it like, I feel like I get inspired by my, like, pregnant friends who have to ask for a mocktail, and it's not weird, and then it's like, "Oh, I guess that they do have to make mocktails for some people," and so they probably have a list that they make.
absolutely. They're becoming more because more and more because of this movement
Oh,
of people between the ages of 25 and 39.
uh-huh,
Uh, they've I've interviewed so many women, and they got tired of it consuming their life. So
yeah.
because of the movement, then really companies are like taking control of what's happening, and they want to help people. So yeah, I do a lot of pregnant women that I talk to. They're like, "Oh man, I wish I knew about you before
Yeah,
I was pregnant, so you could have come to done my baby shower." So
yeah,
that's exciting too, because just because you're pregnant, I mean, doesn't mean that you don't want to have a drink, right?
yeah, fun, fun,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What about, a sporting event? So we're coming up on the summer, what do you think is a go-to order at, like, baseball game?
At a baseball game, I
Yeah.
mean, I would take my own drink, to be
No.
honest. I would have my own little cooler, but then again, it becomes difficult. I would say at a baseball, I would do if you like beer, which the majority of people love beer, the
Uh-huh.
Heineken Zero is
Yeah.
definitely something that I would go to, because those are really, from what my son says, they're good, they're refreshing, and they do the job.
Do
So
you know if they're the only beer company that does a non-alcoholic beer or others catching on?
there is others, definitely, but they're the ones that have actually been out for some time. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
know about it before, but yes, they're definitely catching on, and, but they're the ones that I guess because Heineken is everywhere already, you
Yeah.
get your Heineken beer and they've added that Heineken Zero and people get it all the time. So
Okay.
definitely cold beer would do the trick.
My, husband, he found last week, and it tastes really good, this sparkling water with hops added, so it kinda tastes like beer inspired. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Eh
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
yeah, and
are
he's like
good.
I mean, I don't like really hoppy beers either, so he's like, "You have to try it." I'm like, "I mean, I'm not gonna like it," but he likes it 'cause he just likes that flavor. So I don't know if they're
Nice.
gonna sell that everywhere, but I think that could be, like, another non-alcoholic beer option if you just like that flavor.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about this might be more up your alley, the, like, wanting to relax the end of the day at home. Like, typically, it's hard because, like, I know there's a relaxing factor to alcohol, and so, like, do you have any solutions for maybe how to mimic that with a drink? Is it in your mind? What about that part?
We actually have, uh, I'm not gonna say a lot, but a handful of, drinks that have a calming effect.
Okay.
So one of the brands is called Drome. They have Awake. So it's kind of like an energizer. It gives you an uplifting feeling. And then the other one is a relaxation one, where when you're taking it, it makes you feel relaxed. It has ashwagandha, it has mushrooms,
Mm,
it's an acquired taste. But a lot of people you either love it or hate it, but it does give you that effect. And you could have it cold or you can have it hot.
mm,
It's very popular. Everybody that I serve it to, they love it. It's just a really nice, but there is a lot of brands that have come up with, that relaxation enhancement in the drinks. So it makes you just feel very calm. And the drinks that we have, they're not gonna make you feel drunk. And I have people that ask me that all the time. Am I gonna feel some type of way? But you are gonna feel a relaxed
mhm,
feeling, which to me, that's really nice because you're
mhm.
not. And one of the other things that I like to is that when you stop drinking, you don't have anxiety. I used to
Oh,
have anxiety and it completely went away. So that's another health benefit. But with the drinks that they're putting together, they have properties in them that they're just really good for your health. And some of them might even help with inflammation, which is crazy. So,
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, no, I tell some clients too that 2 things on this, that first of all, some people feel like they need alcohol to go to sleep, which we know that alcohol actually makes your sleep worse.
yeah.
So that's not a good strategy, but also a lot of times this relaxing effect too can just be from you training your brain that when you drink the alcohol, then you're relaxing. So if we can like reroute that and say like, well, just make your new routine taking a bath or drinking a tea. It sounds like much like you did. Like you just had to like replace the routine. Is that kind of right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about routine and we put compartments that we think that we have to do. And that was one of the things that I've learned through being sober. Sometimes those compartments don't work for you anymore and you have to take them out, throw them away, and don't go back. So hot teas are delicious.
Mm.
I have an assortment of teas.
Oh,
And I
okay.
could drink them hot and I could drink them cold. And it is, like I said, when I stopped drinking, I didn't think about making a mocktail or wanting I didn't want anything that resembled alcohol. I didn't want to go back there. So it took me a moment to get to, doing the mocktails. But hot teas are always a plus
Mhm.
and they are relaxing and they have so many variations of them and they're just good,
Yes.
and they do relax you when
Yeah.
nighttime when you're all wound up from working all day long and you need something that, it's going to help you relax. That's definitely a two thing, something to try.
What about, pool or boat days? So again, we're coming up on the summer. This is another thing where people can tend to drink all day long. What would you say to pack for like a pool cooler maybe?
I would definitely say to pack it's called Free AF. They're these
Okay.
little cans,
Uh-huh.
have all different types. So it could be like vodka, spritzers, it could be a Paloma, they have a rum and Coke. It just depends on what you like. But
Oh.
also water,
Yeah.
you have to stay hydrated. Sparkling water, they have all different types. So definitely do that. If you like to drink wine, drink the alcohol-free wine. One of the things that I hear a lot is how much sugar does this have? And I always
Yeah.
say to customers the same thing. I don't think they realize that alcohol has so much sugar,
Yes.
and this actually doesn't. It has very little sugar. So anything that you take could be fun. Just pack a cooler and it looks normal. There's nothing
Yeah.
It's gonna say, "I'm not drinking," and when you give it to people and if you don't say anything, I people love it.
Yes.
They love it. Yeah. They have
Have
no idea.
you seen like Liquid Death or any of the canned waters that are out there? I guess they just canned water.
Yeah.
I was at a well, I went to Austin City Limits last year, and
Oh,
that's
fun.
like, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
everybody was drinking. And my husband didn't know that. And I was like, "Do you want me to go get you a drink? Like, oh, I'll wait in the line for us." And he was like trying to look
Right.
around. He's like, "Yeah, I'll have this like Liquid Death that everybody's drinking." And I was like, "It's water." And he's like, "What? I've seen everybody like chugging it. I thought everybody was just like drunk around me." I was like, so I think that's a good testament to being like, I really don't think people would know if it's just a can. I don't think people are going to ask.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the fun part of it that people just don't know. It's good and it's refreshing and it does the job. And why not?
Yeah. The last example situation is this was our audience question. What about a pregame? So I think for people that are younger, even like Gen Z and or their friends are still going out, they want to go out, but like they don't want to drink before. What would you recommend maybe a product for a pregame situation?
I wish my daughter Karina was here because she
Oh,
is you know what? It just really all depends. Again, there's no when it comes to alcohol free, it
uh-huh.
is the stuff that we have is what we have.
Hmm.
So if you want to feel like you're pre-gaming, women are getting ready, they're dolling themselves up. I would say have a glass of wine, have a glass
Okay.
of the free AF. It tastes the same. It's delicious. It does the job. And like I said, it has this calming effect.
Mm,
So you feel good. You feel good.
okay.
And the best thing is that you're aware and
Hmm.
you're there. You're with, when we go anywhere, I'm there, I'm present.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one. I try to tell some people too, when it comes to drinking at these situations, I try to tell myself that I'm actually hydrating while everybody else is dehydrating. So, like, you can
Yeah.
treat it as like a hydration event, whether, because alcohol is a diuretic. So, it'll make you dehydrate by the end of the day. So, I know sometimes it feels like you're not doing anything if you're not drinking, but just think of it as like you're hydrating all night. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But, like, it's like you are beautifying yourself. You're getting ready and then you're hydrating. Your skin's going to look so much better than everybody else who drank all night.
Really? Look at J-Lo. She's
Yeah.
54 years old, and she says that her skin is as
Yes.
beautiful as it is because she's never drank anything.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, and she looks amazing. So,
I did wanna ask you a specific I do get a question a lot about tequila drinks, and this is the one I specifically cannot find a replacement for. I tried, it was gross, I couldn't find but I didn't try very hard. So, what would be like a replacement tequila or even like a tequila drink, like a margarita, just because it's so tequila forward, I feel like?
I would say it all depends on the brand that you're using for a tequila drink. So margarita, spicy mojitos. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different drinks, and I'll send you some. So
Yeah.
you have some. But Spiritless has a delicious tequila, and
Okay.
it tastes and smells the same. So anything that you want with a tequila,
Mhm.
uh, that you can make with a tequila. I mean, there's so many different options that you can make with the tequila, but a spicy
Mhm.
margarita, if that's something that you like, it's the jam. I mean, it tastes so good. And you can put it like a ginger. There's this spicy ginger that you add onto it.
Oh,
One fun thing that you could do too is like when you're making a drink, you could rim, like the rim of the cup
yeah.
if you put salt or anything spicy. I mean, you can get so creative. I mean, it's basically the same thing. There's no difference. So you just have to get a little creative. But I think just looking at it that way, you're like, oh yeah, you definitely feel like you're having a drink. But with margaritas, with tequila, you can make any single drink that you can make with an alcohol, just, it's an alcohol free. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so it sounds like you're saying getting that's the, like, spiritless
Yes.
tequila replacement and then just treat it like you would trace any tequila and make the rest of the drink normal?
Absolutely. So I always ask my customers when I'm with them, like, what do you normally drink when you're drinking? And
Mm.
whatever they tell me, I make them the same drink without the alcohol.
Oh,
So they like, if they want to take shots of tequila, I'll pour them the tequila and they love it. I'm
okay.
telling you. I had this lady who, when I did a seminar, it was called Sober Sis, not
Uh-huh.
too long ago, and it was about 400 people that are different times of their missions with alcohol. And when she tried it, she's like, I'm Mexican, and Mexicans drink a lot of tequila.
Yeah.
When she tried it, she goes, you would never be able to tell that this is not actual tequila. It tastes delicious.
Interesting.
And what it is that the companies are actually extracting the alcohol out of it.
Okay.
So it's a two process. So, they make it with the alcohol, they extract it, they take it out, and there's actually no alcohol in them at all, which is really nice. Some of them
Interesting.
have alcohol, but the ones that I purchased don't. So
Okay. Kind of wrapping things up, can you tell us your top 1 to 2 tips for starting a sober, curious life?
yeah, so break the habits.
Okay.
Very important. Take those boxes that, people think like I have to drink because I'm pre-gaming. Well,
Mm,
no, you don't have to drink because you're pre-gaming. That's just something that you've done before. It doesn't mean that you have to continue to do it. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to, especially when you're younger,
mhm,
you have to let your friends know what it is that you're doing and ask them to support you because people want to support people.
mm,
And just sometimes you have to step away too.
mhm.
And I mean, by the grace of God, I'm sober. And if I could do it, I could tell you that anyone could do it. I started drinking at a young age. I drank every reason to drink was a reason,
Mhm.
whether you're happy, sad, or stressed, or whatever the situation was, I was there and I was going to have a drink. So just have to break those things that you think you have to do. You don't
Yeah.
have, you know what I mean? Those are just things that you think you have to do. And if you replace it with something else, the same thing with a cigarette,
Mhm,
I always, one of my main things and my biggest advice is, for me, it was 1 minute at a time,
mhm,
5 minutes at a time, 1 hour at a time, half a day,
mhm.
one day at a time. And then the more that I did it, the less that I had to say that to myself. But definitely for today, I'm not drinking. And for one day, anybody could do anything, right? So just for today, I'm not drinking. I can't tell you that tomorrow I'm going to drink or not drink. I know that today I'm not drinking. And that's my big
Yeah.
advice to people.
I love that. That's such a good
Yeah.
note to end on. Where
Yeah.
can people find you or how can they work with you?
Sure. So our website is On the Mocktails AF.
Okay.
And also our IG account is On the Mocktails AF. And that's pretty much it through Instagram and through our website.
Mhm.
It's the best way to get a hold of us. And of course, our phone number's on there. So we do events of all types.
Okay.
And our biggest thing, like I told you before, is just growing the community and being available to people to try different drinks and just to be there for them for whatever they might need. That is my goal.
Awesome. I love that goal. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Gabby. I'm sure this will be a really helpful episode.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure to meet you.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening to the Millennial Nutritionist Podcast. For daily weight loss tips and nutrition information, you can find us on Instagram at the.millennial.nutritionist and on TikTok at millennial.nutritionist. If you find this information helpful, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend who needs encouragement on their health journey. See you in the next episode.